virtually eliminated from the U.S. a decade ago, so we were surprised to hear that measles infected at least 19 people who visited Disney theme parks in California. We asked Dr. John LaPook to look into this.
The people sickened were all at Disneyland between December 15th and 20th. State health officials say they know of 8 who were not vaccinated, including 2 who were too young. The theme park.
6-year-old Rhett Crowett has battled leukemia for 4.5 years. His immune system is too weak from chemotherapy to get a measles vaccination. Nearly 10% of the kids at his school are not vaccinated, and that worries his parents, Carl and Jody Crowett. If their son got measles, it could kill him.
So let's say if you're not vaccinated with a medical exemption, you can't come to school.
But there are parents who have very strong beliefs about vaccinations and say, I don't want them in my kid.
We rely on the people that can be immunized to protect the rest of the population.
It's what doctors call herd immunity. If the vast majority of the population is immunized, they help prevent measles from spreading to at-risk populations, such as infants and the elderly.
Parents need to know what is being injected into their child.
Call it the Jenny effect.
Without a doubt in my mind, I believe vaccinations triggered Evan's autism.
Almost a decade ago, actress Jenny McCarthy became the spokeswoman for the anti-vaccination movement, a movement that's only grown stronger, finding support among liberal, well-educated communities, despite science showing over and over there's no link between autism and vaccines.
Measles cases is approaching 100, and we've learned that hundreds more people may have been exposed. As of tonight, there are at least 98 cases in 14 states, most of them in California, and most linked to that outbreak at Disneyland. With each case, there is more pressure for those at risk to get vaccinated.
Dr. Helene Calvé is the county's deputy health officer.
The real difficult thing with measles is you become infectious 4 days before the rash starts. So even before you recognize it as measles, you can be infecting other people.
The measles virus causes high fever and rash and can lead to serious complications.
Growing concern over measles in this country. New numbers out from the CDC show the outbreak has grown to 102 cases in 14 states. And now we're seeing politicians entering the fray, possibly at their peril, over whether children should receive the measles vaccine that once eradicated the disease.
Tonight, we're tracking a surge of cases, outbreaks now in 13 states. California and New York are the hardest hit. The number of cases growing at a pace not seen in nearly 20 years.
Should be vaccinated. Most doctors agree, like the one Carter Evans met.
I can't protect every kid in the United States, but I can protect the ones I care for. Oh, you're even smiling.
Pediatrician Charles Goodman has a message for parents. Vaccinate your children against the measles or find another doctor.
It's a very hard line to take, but at some point I had to draw the line in the sand and say, you know what, I gotta protect my kids. That's my job as a pediatrician.
The measles virus can linger in the air for up to 2 hours, and babies under a year old are especially at risk because they're too young to receive the vaccine.
And those babies could die, and I had to weigh the risks. The risk of kids in my office getting measles, potentially dying, versus the rights of those parents to not immunize when I thought most of them were making that choice based on bad information. Do you have any special concerns?
Dr. Goodman says he's tried for years to educate parents about the safety of vaccines. When you have that talk with them, do they ever change their minds?
Very rarely. I mean, I've tried and tried to convince them. I can't convince them.
And what are they basing this on?
All on the internet, nothing to do with science.
But you're the doctor. You've been a pediatrician for 20 years.
Yep, but they believe the internet sometimes more, and that's why I took the stance. Believe your doctor, listen to your doctor, not the internet.
Or go somewhere else.
Or go somewhere else.
Some parents we spoke to who oppose vaccines say they feel bullied by doctors who threaten to drop unimmunized patients. But Scott, Dr. Goodman's new policy is already having an effect. He says large numbers of parents are calling his office to make appointments for vaccinations.